There's something to be said about great storytelling, and when a game gets it right, it's always a bonus. Certain genres lend themselves to storytelling better than others, and while the puzzle adventure is one of those genres, it requires a certain finesse to weave a story into it. Aporia, Beyond the Valley, makes a point of letting you know that it does its best not only to tell you a great story, but do so without any dialogue or text. That claim caught my attention, and so when the community showed interest in it as well, I took the dive. The first thing I noticed was just how great the game looked. Built in the CryEngine, Aporia is a graphically stunning game. There's no doubt that it will put a strain on your system, but if you have the hardware, you're going to be treated to some very impressive visuals indeed. It doesn't waste those visuals either, as Aporia has some of the best atmosphere in any game I've played in ages. I will note, however, that while it mostly ran without a hitch, there was a specific area that struggled to load properly repeatedly, resulting in catastrophically low frame rates for short periods of time. It's entirely possible that this is fixable by tweaking some settings, but regardless, it didn't particularly ruin my experience. More surprising to me was something I didn't think I'd ever take note of in a puzzle adventure. You see, the controls in Aporia are good enough that they stand out. While you're simply using mostly conventional first-person shooter controls, everything feels just incredibly tight in a way I wish some popular first-person shooters, PUBG, would. It ultimately resulted in me joyously hopping around the world, getting to areas I probably wasn't supposed to be in, but having fun with it anyway. Of course, Aporia isn't a first-person shooter, so we should probably talk about the puzzles a bit. Aporia presents you with a selection of puzzles that veterans of the genre would have run into many times before. None of the puzzles are particularly unique in any way, and additionally aren't particularly difficult. There are a couple of fun puzzles tucked away that aren't required for you to complete the story, but in general, they're all pretty much standard fare. Truth be told, Aporia is more of an adventure puzzler than a puzzle adventure. That's not really a huge problem, however, as the adventure part is particularly fantastic. I was skeptical as I was intrigued when I read Investigate Northline about telling a story without dialogue or text. As it turns out, they did a remarkable job of it, and you discover this very early on. Aporia delivers a lot of the most core story and character development via a series of projected paper-like theater you discover along your way. Everything else is told with carefully placed objects, bodies, etc. in far more effective ways than I've seen in other games that have attempted this style of storytelling. I was amazed at how much I could easily and accurately extract from what was presented to me throughout the world, and was left far more satisfied than I was with the recently reviewed Pyre as far as story and narrative delivery goes. I greatly enjoyed my time with Aporia. While I sometimes wish I was challenged a bit more with the puzzles, I can appreciate that perhaps challenge wasn't the main goal of the game, but instead it was the story delivery. In that respect, not only is it done very well, the story that ultimately unfolds is a great one, and may even catch you off guard more than a few times. Dripping in atmosphere, Aporia presents an experience I could recommend to just about anyone. If you're more interested in being challenged, then perhaps you should look elsewhere. If you're interested in a great story that's told in a unique way with some light puzzling, then you should definitely give Aporia Beyond the Valley a shot. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up or down and leave a comment if you're shooting for extra participation points. Bonus points for thanking our awesome video editor Mark. These videos are made possible by the War Council Gaming Patreon, so feel free to check out the link if you want to join the community. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next.